Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Retail Insider. Joining me today is PJ LaRue, who was founder of Craft Beer Market and also behind the new concept, Central Taps and Food. Thanks for joining us today, PJ.
Thanks for having me, Mario.
Well, let me ask you about this new food concept that you're starting here in Calgary. What's unique about it?
Well, I think for us, we're known for pretty large format restaurants, and this is a smaller format restaurant for us. Through the last 2 years, through COVID, we kind of reevaluated everything that's good with craft and everything that we think we can do differently, and we came up with this brand, which is a little bit more food focused and a little bit more cocktail focused, and meant to be a very interesting and lively room that you would find in the downtown core, but potentially could find in the suburbs. So, typical craft is around 11,000 square feet, and this is 4,500 square feet, so about half the size of a normal craft. And then there's a bunch of super great features with the restaurant, but just a unique room that hasn't been done for a while. It's basically a modern take on a restaurant bar.
Okay, so just bring me up to date. How many craft locations are there right now?
There is 8, and our 9th one will be opening in a month in Victoria.
9th in Victoria, and those craft locations are where again?
We've got 2 in Vancouver, 2 in Calgary, 1 in Edmonton, 1 in Ottawa, 1 in Toronto, and 1 in Kelowna. Okay,
super then. So maybe can you talk a little bit about, I guess, opening a new concept, and particularly at this time? Were you kind of leery to open a new restaurant? I know it's been a challenging time for the hospitality industry.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think for everyone, no one expected this to last as long as it has, and we're still talking about it. But, I think for me, I'm very passionate about the restaurant industry, and I believe the things that we lost in the COVID pandemic is what restaurants really give to people. And I think that's why people are striving those things. And that's why the restaurants are quite busy. People want to be out, they want to socialize, they want to be around others. And I think another thing that people have realized is they want to be served. They don't want to be on their phone ordering a DoorDash or sitting in front of their TV ordering something. They want a server to come to them, and they want to smile, and they want that interaction.
Yeah.
So very nervous, but also super optimistic about what's going to happen in the restaurant industry.
So do you see this concept rolling out kind of like what Craft did and to other cities in Canada?
Yeah, one of the things that we've realized is we have these large format restaurants, and we have such an amazing team in every market that we're in. And this gives an opportunity for growth with them to potentially look after 2 restaurants, or potentially move some of our junior managers into these roles. So we do think that the idea with Central is to open more locations in multiple markets.
Mm-hmm. What's through this whole pandemic, and there were some restaurants and bars that obviously didn't make it, right? They shut down because of the challenging times. What did you think was the key, say, for you guys to stay open and to stay afloat, so to speak?
There's lots of different things that were helpful through the pandemic. Unfortunately, the larger you were, the almost nil government support you got. So we really leaned on our partners. So all over the board, our landlords, our suppliers, and then also our bank. I mean, I think most restaurant groups are sitting in more debt than they've ever had right now. Yeah. So, it seems like everything's good, but we have a lot of debt to pay off that when you're not making money or very little money for 2 years, you're going to pile on a little bit of debt.
Yeah. And how do you, what do you think about I guess the consumer out there? Are they still a little leery about going out? And even though everything's been lifted, all the restrictions, do you still sense a little bit of that hesitancy on the consumer part?
I think there's still some people that are hesitant, but most people, like the early adopters, are the ones that were essentially, as soon as there was a restriction lifted, they were the first ones out. But every time a restriction is lifted, for example, in BC last, I guess 2 weeks ago now, they just lifted the passport, which was one of the last provinces to do that. And we saw a significant spike in sales. So I think the consumer confidence is actually still leaning on health, right? So when health do make these announcements, it really does help the industry as a whole.
Okay, and as yourself being a business owner, PJ, like, what do you think you've learned through these past 2 years? What have been some of the biggest lessons from a business standpoint that are going to shape your future going forward?
I don't think we have enough time, Mario. It's I'd say that the biggest learning for me is our business is all about people, and you got to take care of your people. And when we did that through the pandemic, we ended up really good on top, and it cost us a lot of money to keep people employed and keep people actively working. But we've been lucky not to be searching as hard as everyone else, because when you've got thousands of restaurants trying to hire people, it makes it very difficult to get those people or get the right people.
Mhm.
So I think the biggest learning for me is, and I think, obviously we can always do a better job, but taking care of your people is one thing that I really realized, and how much people are dependent on their week-to-week paycheck. And when that's taken away or taken, you take it for granted, especially when a majority of our people are their compensation is based on gratuity. It was very tough times for a lot of people.
Yeah. So, you mentioned, staff. It's been an issue here in the last while, right? And, we hear a lot about labor shortages and difficulty finding staff. How was it, starting a new restaurant and bar? How was it for you to find staff these days?
It hasn't been easy, but fortunately we moved some people. As I was mentioning before, we did some promotions within and got some of our management and key leaders. And I think with them, when you have the right people, they're able to attract the right people. And so we've been lucky that way, but we are always still looking for people. And when you open a new restaurant, you need more than when you have an existing restaurant. So, it's one of those things where right now you need more people than there are out in the market. And you just have to be either creative or have the right people and the right culture and right concept, actually, just to drive people towards your door.
Okay, let's talk a little bit again more about the concept of central taps and food. So how many taps would you have in a typical place?
Well, so we call it Central Taps and Food, and interestingly enough, we're known for our beer, but obviously we're going to have a great beer selection. I mean, it's kind of runs through our veins as a company.
Yeah.
But we're really focused on our cocktails and wine selection at Central. So we have a small tap list that's 12 taps. And of those, we have a lot of, we're doing our own cocktails on tap, as well as some really great cocktails that we're making fresh. And then we have, as we do at the craft locations, we have wine on tap as well.
Oh, so cocktails on tap.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Can I get like a Caesar on tap or something like that?
No, we have certain unique cocktails. I mean, some of the cocktails that have been in the market, we've worked on a cocktail called the Shaft, and that's been on tap, and it's very popular in Calgary. And then just some typical cocktails like a Negroni, we do it ourselves, and it's on tap and very consistent. So,
okay. And what about the food? What can you tell me about, what kind of food will be there?
Yeah, so we've been working with Chef Pigeot, or Mike Pigeot, for quite some time. He's well known in Calgary, has won Calgary's Top Chef, and he's been on TV on Guys Grocery Games and different outlets. So we've been working on the menu for just over a year, and I think the thing I love about the menu is it's really all over the map. So it's kind of a bit for everyone. So we've got what you would typically see at a restaurant and bar. So we've got wings and burgers, and we've got some great pizzas. but we've got some really unique things. We've got sushi, we've got ramen, we've got Mexican street chicken, enchiladas, pierogies. So it's really a full gamut. Some amazing salads, and all fresh and made, in house with our team.
Okay, my mouth's starting to water here. So tell me, PJ, like, to be successful in this industry today, what are consumers looking for when they go out to a bar and restaurant now? And what do they want?
Good question. I think everyone's looking for something different, but I'm a firm believer that people are first drawn to basically your marketing or whatever's going to pull that person in, whether it's food or and for that, once they walk through the doors, it's up to us to win them over. And there's a few things that I truly believe in, and atmosphere is number one. And we strive ourselves on making sure that the atmosphere inside our rooms is amazing. And that goes with our music, our lighting, our decor, and of course our team. Like our team creates that atmosphere. And that's what people want. There's a lot of choices out there, and you want to feel comfortable and have a really good feeling and a good vibe when you're in a room.
Yeah. So any idea of how many of these central taps and food locations you might expand to?
Not at this moment. We're actively looking in Vancouver right now for location number 2, and obviously we have to prove the concept, so we want to make sure that it works. And right now we're just sticking with the Calgary location and heads down and making sure that it works really well, and excited to show Calgary what we've got.
Okay, anything on tap, pardon the pun, but anything on tap for craft beyond the Victoria opening?
Yeah, we've been pretty adamant on opening one craft per year. The pandemic didn't slow us down. We did open one in Vancouver, and we've got our second one coming out of the pandemic in Victoria. We're actively looking in the Ontario market, as well as still in the BC market right now, currently.
Any thoughts further east of Ontario?
Not at this point. We have looked into the Maritimes a little bit, but we wanted to get another location into the GTA, basically.
Oh, okay, super then. All right, and I think that basically covers it. PJ, anything you wanted to mention that I didn't ask you about?
Well, we officially open on May 9th. We'd love to have the city of Calgary come down and check us out. And yeah, just really excited to show the city what we've got.
All right, super. Thanks, PJ, for joining us today.
Thanks, Mario.
All right, that was PJ LaRue, founder of the Craft Beer Market and of Central Taps and Food. I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Retail Insider. Thanks for joining us today.